Alright, so I just hand washed the car with Dawn dish soap, and then I clay barred it with a little Mother's Speed 2.0, whatever it's called. It's not a clay bar, it's just a little foam pad with a thing on it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then I went with some little soapy wool pads, just the cheap Walmart ones. Hit all the rusty spots and the chrome, and really clean stuff up. So I'm real happy with that. I'll show you the spot on the trunk, which was probably the worst of the rust. It's still going to be an ugly spot, but it cleaned up a little bit. So the paint is pretty smooth to the touch. So now we're ready to start buffing. I got to see what kind of compound I got in pads. Hopefully we'll get this thing shining. Alright, so I cut and buffed on it with the dual action. I used 3M. Let me show you the products I used. This is some 3M rubbing compound. And I used, there's more products laying here than I actually used. And then I put turtle wax on it. And I'm happy with it. This is, I think, you know, more than good for a patina paint job. As you can see, it's reflecting light. I've started going through the trunk. Bunch of cool stuff in there. Got it all tore out of there. Kind of put a lot of things in the trash, a lot of things into a cardboard box. That's stuff that shouldn't be thrown out, but I'm not sure what to do with right now. Y'all know how it goes. So I vacuumed out the trunk, and I've been working on cleaning up these little drainage trays. They were full of leaves and debris. So super clean is what I was using, but I just ran out. But that was working good. And yeah, this trunk mat, I'm not sure if it's original, but for now my theory is I'm gonna just hang on to it, and I've already vacuumed it. Maybe I'll spray it with some Febreze. If it turns out to be just too nasty, we'll tear it out of there, but for now I think it's all right. I mean, the car's not even running and driving yet, so yeah, that's the update. The spot on top of the trunk lid, that's gonna be there, but it does look a little bit better. Some of the surface rust around it that was on top of the paint came up. I don't know what happened there. I wonder if somebody set a battery on there. I don't know. Now I'm working on to the interior, moving on to the interior. But let me shut these doors so y'all can kind of see what it looks like. I'm very happy with it. So time to get into this interior. Try to get these jams cleaned up and armor all stuff. I've got some vinyl patch stuff I might try to use on the bench seat. I'll just I'll take a look at that. I got to get all that duct tape off there, see how big the rip actually is. So moving on. Hey guys, how's it going? Working on the blue Galaxie, and we got it all shined up. I took some videos on my phone of that, but I kind of just got in the zone yesterday. Didn't mess with the camera a whole lot. Did the way I approached this, I washed it, hand washed it, clay barred it, and then polished it or compounded it with 3M rubbing compound, and then waxed it. And I'm happy with it. It looks a lot more sanitary, you know, less a lot cleaner. So Now, today I've been working on the interior, and I got everything wiped down. Got the headliner cleaned up, used D-germ. There's probably some more spots I could hit, but got the, you know, about 80-85% of that. And I mean, this car's cleaning up good, guys. Right here, this is the bench seat. I pulled up the duct tape that they had, and I had this product called Fiber Fix, and it says super tacky adhesive pieces, and that's just kind of a band-aid. But I'm okay with it for now. I've got one of those saddle bench seat cover things, and I started to put that on there, but then I realized it was a little bit more steps than I thought it was, and so it's not a priority right now, so I'll put it back in the box. Might do that later, but if nothing else, that Fiber Fix will keep that torn up vinyl from bunching up underneath that saddle cover. Right now I'm working on getting the new key, the ignition, all that lock cylinder installed. But I spent a lot of time, you know, cleaning door jambs, and they're not perfect, but they're a whole lot better. Seats cleaned up decent. Looks like I need a vacuum again. I think every time I hop in this thing I track more stuff in it, so maybe I'll just wait till later to vacuum it. There's the back. I polished the chrome. There's that ugly spot. It became a little bit less ugly. This trunk lid, it's got a broken spring, so I vacuumed out the trunk here, threw away a bunch of stuff, kind of threw the rest of the stuff that I didn't want to keep in the trunk, but I didn't want to throw away. I threw that in the box. I'm gonna throw that in the shed. I sprayed it with the Auto Febreze after I vacuumed it, and it's still very musty back here, so I don't know if that carpet's gonna stay back here. Probably not. But I cleaned out all the weather channel, or what do you call it, rain gutters. That was all packed full of leaves. All the glass on this car is really nice. It's got a little chip right there, but no big deal. I mean, door panels are nice, carpet's usable, door jambs are cleaned up nice. This is just a solid car. I used D-germ on the vinyl that had like mildew on it. Didn't want to use a bleach based cleaner because that can dry out the vinyl. Here's that saddle truck cover thing. But this car is nice, guys. Definitely for the money I paid. So right now I'm trying to get the key in it, so I'll keep you updated on that. So it looks like the way this gets replaced is you have to take this bezel cover, which I already did, which means taking the knobs off of these dials with a little Allen key set screw they got in them. I'll show you what that looks like. Here's one of the knobs. As you can see, it's got a little set screw with an Allen head on it. You just have to back that off, and that whole cover comes off. So then I just unscrewed this from this, and now I was thinking I was maybe gonna have to drop that AC unit down a little bit to get my hand in there, but I think if I just unbolt this radio I can get right to it. So we'll see if that's what I decide to do. But everything in here is super clean, guys. I like it. Alright, so this is my new lock cylinder. I got the old one out. I had to drop the AC unit, and that's the wiring right there. And it wasn't clicking or going into the wiring, at least not easily, so I kind of took it out and looked at it, and I noticed one of my pins was a little bit askew compared to the old cylinder. or ignition switch. And then I played with it. I was like, well, I just need to bend that tab back. Well, I was noticing like this thing moves. This little tab, it's like not tight, and this one is loose too. It seems like, however, that they use that little piece of copper to attach that, it's not tight. This rivet is fine, I guess, if you call that a rivet. I think that's what it is. But these two pins are loose. So I'm gonna see if I can put this in the vise and hammer down on that and see if that just kind of mushrooms it and makes it tighter. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but you always got to keep your eyes out with this stuff. All right, so I had to fiddle with this thing a little bit to get the new lock cylinder into the ignition switch. What I had to do was stick a little paper clip in that tab right there, or that little hole, and make sure that the lock cylinder was turned all the way to the left into the accessory position. You also need to make sure that the little indexing piece in the switch itself is in that same position. And then it'll seat all the way down. You turn the key to the right and it's in there. So got that in there. Now I just need to get it fed through. I didn't mess with those pins. It seemed like, you know, maybe it would tighten up and wouldn't be an issue, so we'll see. All right, y'all, I got the lock cylinder in there and I just threw a battery in, so got her in park. Let's see what happens. Oh, we got wipers. Well, that's good. Wiper motor works. We got an alternator light, oil light, looks like the temp light, maybe the bulb's out. Fuel gauge is reading nothing. Does it twitch when I turn the ignition on? Can't tell that the fuel gauge is moving. Should we try the radio, guys? See what's going on with the radio. I think the radio's dead. Could be a fuse, could just be a bad radio. Let's try turn signals. We got a right turn signal, and we got a left. Daggone. What else can we try? All right, let's try the fan. All right, we got nothing on the fan. Four ways? Oh, four-way flashers work. Sweet. I don't think this thing has power hooked up to it. Yeah, it does not. Let's see if it cranks. All right, we're in park. Nothing. So what is that, guys? Whenever I turn it to the crank position, a little brakes light comes on up here and a little hot light comes on over here. Alright, y'all, after playing with this for a while, I finally found out it was my neutral safety switch is the reason it's not cranking. And it won't crank in park, I don't think, unless you hold your mouth just right, but I haven't had it to work yet. Yeah, nothing. And then you go down to neutral if you hold your mouth right. It's kind of a two-hand thing. There we go. So it's working. Just need to get this dashboard back together. I was looking at neutral safety switches online and they seem expensive, so we're not gonna deal with that right now. We're just gonna start it in neutral from now on. All right, y'all, I've been tinkering on this thing for a few more hours here. I'll give you an update. Put a new fuel pump down in there. I chose to move the power steering pump to do that. Just 2 bolts, and then I was able to kind of set it up out the way. Got a fuel line coming from it that I'm going to use a gas tank on, or a gas can. I took the radiator hoses off and the water neck off, got the old thermostat out. The old thermostat didn't look terrible. It had a 192 degree thermostat in it, but I replaced it with the 180. I don't think 192 was an option on Rock Auto when I was shopping. So, and then I put this water neck on it that was in the trunk. I don't know if they were having problems with the old water neck, is why they bought that or what, but here's the old one. And it's an iron one. The other one's aluminum. And this one's crusty, so I decided to go ahead and replace it since the car came with the part. So I got some new hoses I'm gonna throw on it. Radiator hoses. And then I gotta put some belts on. Yeah, I've spent some time messing with the Galaxie, and check this out, y'all. She's idling, y'all. Pretty low idle too. I noticed when I was cranking it, the oil light cut off, like I had oil pressure, but now it's lights on. I don't want to run it too much longer because I've already been running it a little bit and I ain't got no cooling system hooked up, so I call that a win, y'all. All right, let me finish doing some of the things I was already doing, putting new belts and hoses on it. All right, y'all, so I got the radiator hoses on, belts on, and I was sitting here letting it idle for a little bit, and I was noticing that oil light on the dash wasn't turning off. And I came out here and, or I cut it off, and then I came out here and popped the valve cover off, and I can't tell that it's getting oil to the top end. Kind of making me nervous. So we're gonna have to investigate that. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. Kind of ending on a defeat, but we'll get it figured out. You know, a few things it could be. We'll just have to spend some time thinking about it. It's Labor Day. I'm gonna go home, get a shower, and then go spend some time with family, eat some good food. So happy Labor Day to y'all. Have a blessed day.